For our first code sample here, we have BaseClass and Derived Class constructors. The thing to remember here is that when we call to a derived class, so remember it's lower in the hierarchy if we start at the top and we work our way down. The derived classes constructors are called in what I would say most students here at this stage report would be reverse order. So in order for us to really call to a derived classes constructor, we have to call to its base classes constructor first, and then we call the derived class constructor. For destructors, it works in reverse order. The destruction happens first on the derived class and then goes and follows the chain to the base class. So this quick and dirty example does just that. You can see up here on lines 6 through 14 we have our base class, and essentially it only consists of a constructor and a destructor. And what we're doing is we're making a simple output there in an empty constructor that says I am base. That is all. You'll see the next line 17 through 25, that is our derived class constructor. It does the exact same thing, only in this case it says, derived class. So when we run this, we're not going to see a great amount of output over here in our output window. But the thing you do notice is that first we will now define a derived class object. That is what's happening here in main, right there on line 32. As soon as we do that, you'll notice the output we get. This is a base class constructor. That comes from our base class. So again, despite calling to a derived class, in order to make that happen, C++ here at runtime has to first create an instance of the base class and then create an instance of the derived class. Now, do also take note here of the reverse order of this. So we've got the derived classes destructor is called first, and then the base classes destructor is called second. So this is the idea here of polymorphism. We're going to see it again a little bit when we talk about multiple inheritance with our third code sample, is that the derived class, the object we create, is both a derived class object and simultaneously it is a base class object. So when, again, I think this is my experience, when we are working with students and they, polymorphism, and then everybody kind of soils themselves quietly about it. It just means polymorph, different morphologies. They are different objects, though they are of one object. So we see that here, that even though a base class object is the only thing, or the derived class object rather, is the only thing that we are declaring here as far as our objects, we can see that our derived class object is in fact both a derived class and a base class.